Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another great episode here at Primetime Sports Talk. It's been a busy day, Rashad.
Man, are you tired of us?
Not even a little bit. Of course
you obviously aren't because you're watching our video right now. So.
Exactly. And hopefully you've seen the other videos and you would have known that we are recapping everything that happened over Thanksgiving break, all the way leading up to the UAB game that happened tonight, or last night. Look, I'm going crazy. And Caleb and I are going to be covering that video in the future, so you can look forward to seeing me 2 episodes in a row. I hope that's not too much for you to handle. I don't think it is.
I hope it's not.
But you guys know us, right? Joey Redmond, Rashad Milligan. This is not our first time on the show together. And it seems like every time you and I jump on here, we cover the women's basketball team. And funny enough, that's what we're doing again today, because every show before this and the one after this is going to be about the men's. And we're covering 3 games.
3 games.
3 games. Alabama, Howard, and Charlotte. Oh, my.
And we went to another one, actually. R.J. Hunter's first professional game in Atlanta.
We did.
Let's give him a shout-out.
We did.
Over Thanksgiving break at the same time. So.
He was on the Boston Celtics wearing that green and white, and it was really cool to see him back in the city and have a good game. Even though the Hawks won, which, look, much as we love R.J., I think we love the Hawks more. Yeah. So happy to see the Hawks come out
I absolutely hate the Celtics, but I love R.J. Hunter. So.
Emotions are being torn in half, Rashad.
It was tough.
It's all being torn in half.
Right.
Well, let's get going, because we're going to try to not bore everybody to death with an hour and 15-minute episode of 3 games, right? So we're going to try to get down to the nitty-gritty. We're going to jump right in. Alabama, and it's not about football, which is weird. You don't ever really hear about Alabama doing anything else other than playing football.
That's the only thing they're
with Nick
not
Saban.
going to go there.
Right. I mean, but hey, Kirby Smart, old defensive coordinator, now the University of Georgia head coach as of recent. But basketball, women's basketball, Georgia State plays them. Georgia State, look, you and I last time, we have received some flack from some viewers, right? Some viewers who have reached out to us or who have seen us around and commented, I saw the show. The consensus seems to be we give the women a hard time.
First things first, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Go to another video, go to someone else's page. I'm pretty sure Georgia State Athletics has a nice page where they only say positive things about Georgia State because everything's positive. But guess what? It's not. The women's team is 2-5, aren't they?
Right.
They're 2-5.
They're 2-5. 2-4.
We're dealing with
they're losing record.
Exactly.
Right.
So we're not going to dress it up for your comfort, all right? We're going to tell it how it is because that's what the people want.
That's right.
Even though you might not want it, you're part of the people too.
Rashad's fired up about this. This is good. This is going to be a good show because, look, I mean, that's the truth, man. I mean, are we always going to get it right? Yeah, of course not. I mean, that's not what it's about. But it's our opinions about the facts. And the facts are one thing, our opinions are another. And the beautiful thing is you don't have to agree with them, But we're just here to have a good time, and we just want you to have a good time with us. But look, coming off of all of that, Georgia State lost to Alabama. They did. It was 56-72. So little bit of a big gap, but I got to be honest. I'm proud. I'm proud of the way the Lady Panthers played against Alabama because.
And why are you proud?
I'm proud. I was getting it because they were leading at the half against Alabama. And look, I understand. Okay, not necessarily known for their women's basketball, but the school Alabama, right? Yeah. It comes with a territory. It comes with an aura. It comes with sort of a spell that it might be able to, cast over other teams that walk onto its home turf, right? There's just something about Alabama that makes it a great school. Whether or not that particular sport is known for being great, Alabama is known for being great. And I think sometimes that can get into the heads of the visiting teams. And Georgia State, again, while they did lose, they managed to do some good things while they were on the road against Alabama, leading by 6 points. I think it was 20-14 in Georgia State's favor going into the half or at some part of the game. It was good, right? It was good. They lost it near the end, but I was proud of the way they played.
Moral victory. You're still 2-5. So, I mean, how do you want to take it?
Let me ask you this, Rashad.
Yeah.
They were what was the record last year? 13-17. 13-17. Okay.
Yes,
They've got 10 new players. We've been over this before.
Yes.
If you're Sharon Baldwin Center, okay, you want to win games, right?
You want to win games.
You want to win games. But is a win over a school like Alabama a priority, or is it acceptable to walk out of there with a moral victory?
It's susceptible in a way because the team is new, like we said last episode a bunch of times. I think it's susceptible, but still, you lost the game by 16 points. You played to win the game. Shout out to Herman Edwards.
It's true. It's true. You played to win the game.
Yeah, you played it, and right now they're 2-5.
And we can talk about what they shot. Okay, it wasn't impressive. Look, they shot 33% from the field.
Yeah.
Right, which is not good. They shot 23% from three, which is even worse, and they shot 50% from the line. Yeah. So obviously, all of their momentum carried into the first half.
Yeah.
Right, and that was sort of it. They had their spell, and that was all. And I think your maybe favorite. Can I call her your favorite player on the women's team? Can I call her? Why don't you talk? I don't want to steal the thunder. Why don't you talk about her and the 14 points that she scored?
Of course, I was going to get to her later.
Okay, go ahead. I'm jumping the gun because I like when you talk about her because I know you like her a lot. So go ahead.
Alasia Mitchell, my girl. Y'all know she's my girl. 14 points, 10 rebounds. She's an absolute beast on the post. She must watch the show because these next 3 games she took a lot of shots.
Right.
And way more shots than she did earlier. So, she's doing her thing. 14 points, 10 rebounds in SEC territory on the road against Alabama. It's good stuff.
That's a big thing. And, of course, you may be familiar with this point. If you watched the very first episode, we talked about the women going on the road to play KSU, coming out with a win. It was a big deal. I was very excited about it. And this is another reasonable example of somebody on the road stepping up, especially in a much bigger university atmosphere, a much bigger sport athletic atmosphere, and doing some good things. But if only she had more help, because I'll tell you what, 2 major points of concern for me. And this is maybe, I know maybe we gave the women a hard time last episode, some people will speculate, this and that, whatever. This is probably the most concerning thing I've seen from the women's basketball team so far this year, okay?
What is that, Joey?
We got KK Williams, okay, and Kenesha Nichols. Both of them had exactly 17 minutes, and both of them had exactly 0 points, okay? You're not going to win against your former high school if you're putting up 0 points,
especially
in
KK.
17 minutes.
You know, KK comes from Blackman High School in Tennessee. The people who won so many games that teams were scared to play him and they were trying to lose on purpose.
Right.
So especially KK Williams, she's not going to beat her. But KK and Kenesha, both of them are more defensive players, more, they do things around the scoring, but still, to your point.
Rashad, even Shaquille O'Neal scored buckets, okay? I mean, look.
But Shaquille O'Neal's one of the greatest players of all time, though.
I don't care if you're a defensive player, if you're coming off the bench in the final 4 minutes. You have one job.
Yeah.
Every single game, right? There's multiple aspects to the game of basketball, and people always say, free throws win games, and you got to shoot, 60% from 2, and you got to shoot at least 40% from 3. All that stuff. There's averages and there's statistics that will tell you what you need to do to win a game. Look, you got to score buckets to win a game. All right, That's the bottom line. Yeah. And they didn't score buckets, right? You got 2 players, you gave them 17 minutes, and they produced nothing. I mean, look.
Scoring-wise.
Scoring-wise. If they produced 2 points, it's something, Literally, at that point, anything is better than nothing. It's cliche, but anything is better than nothing. Yeah. I mean, look, we even had Morgan Jackson. She had 27 minutes and 2 points. I mean, that's hardly acceptable as well, or 21 minutes and 2 points. But at that point, what's the difference between 21 and 27 if you're only scoring 2 points? Now, I like Alasia Mitchell. You're right. She's come up.
Yeah.
She has. I think maybe
she's watched the show.
Maybe in the absence of what was Makiba Ponder, she has found
Joey?
And we'll talk about Makiba some more because she did have one game inside this trio of games we were covering that really stood out to me, and I'm proud of her for doing what she did. But maybe she hasn't, picked it up from last season. Go ahead.
We only on the first game of 3 games. Makiba Ponder. Very much so like the men's team, how Isaiah Dennis has the keys to the Mercedes for the men. Mm-hmm. Makiba Ponder is supposed to have the keys to the Mercedes for the woman.
And she's a very young player, so it's a lot of responsibility for her.
She's a sophomore, young player. It's unacceptable if you're the team's leading scorer. You've been benched. Coach Baldwin Tenner has sent a message to you. Makiba, you're benched. Play better. Mm-hmm. Put the ball in the basket. You put the ball up about at least 10 times every game.
Right, it's true.
You take 10 to 20 shots every game. Hello, 4 points in Alabama, 7 points. What's it? I'm getting ahead of myself. Makiba Ponder, if you're going to take that many shots, get the message. You've been benched, okay? Hello, wake up. We need you.
I think this is a good transition then to go to the next game, right? Because what's up? You got something else to say? Go ahead.
We also have to give out our game balls.
We're doing game balls in the middle of episodes now. We got 3 games. This is crazy. Okay, let's do game balls because I don't want to lose the momentum of you talking about Makiba because what you're saying is good about she needs to wake it up a little bit, and there's good things to talk about Makiba in the following game against Howard. And I want to get that so we can stop ripping on Makiba because she's a better player than sometimes we give her credit for, but it's she's in a slump right now. Maybe it's a sophomore slump that people talk about.
She's a great player.
She is.
That's why we're so hard on her because
the
she's
potential
such a great
is
player.
high, right?
It's like Kobe.
Right.
You know how Durant was like, oh, we treat Kobe like it's because we set a standard for Kobe. We set a standard for Makiba Ponder because I've seen what this girl can do in practice last season, her freshman year, and in some parts this season even.
Right.
So that's why I'm so hard on you, Makiba. Right. We're so hard on you.
Right, it's true. But we have to give some game balls. So let's do that for the Alabama game. And I'll start with you, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll be surprised by your pick, but you can try me. Go ahead.
Okay. Surprise, surprise, Elijah Mitchell. No surprise at all.
No surprise at all.
The only one that really showed up, it seems like she was the only one on the bus to Tuscaloosa. Is that how you pronounce it?
Tuscaloosa? Tuscaloosa. I think that's Tuscaloosa.
Excuse me, Roll Tide faithful.
That's right.
Tuscaloosa. She's the only one that seemed to show up on the bus because this is the next leading scorer had 10.
Yeah, we had two tenors.
Ashley Cole and Tatiana Jackson. So they barely got in double digits.
Right.
And then they didn't even have nearly as many rebounds as Elijah did. So Elijah Mitchell, player of the game.
It's not even fair for me to try to give it to anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, I have to agree with you. And look, it's unfortunate that other players couldn't step up in crunch time because I think if Elijah Mitchell had got 50% the work from some of these other players that got no points or 2 points from 21 minutes, 0 points from 17 minutes, just 50% of Elijah Mitchell's production could have seen this game go amazingly in the other direction. Yeah. But moving on then to the Howard game, because I want to jump right back on the Makiba Ponder train, right?
Great.
And we'll get into the statistics about the game in a second, but I want to give, because Makiba Ponder's probably turned this off at this point, and she's like, I'm sick of this, and she's going, what do you mean you're going to praise me for the Howard game? Look, Makiba led the team with an amazing 17 points in only 20 minutes. That's basketball.
Off the bench.
That's production, okay? And look.
She was still 5 for 16 from the field, but
she figured it out, right? She figured it
somewhat.
out. Look, 17 points is 17 points.
Is 17.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. Everybody's got opportunities to score more every single game.
And a
right?
winning effort.
There's a reason that only 3 players ever at any level have gone 100% from every single place on the court, right? I mean, it just doesn't happen. So, it's unfair. It's grossly unfair for us to pick at Makiba for, she went 5 for 18 or whatever. Look, she got 17 points.
She got 17 points.
She got 17 points. And whether it was
Good job, Makiba.
Good job, Makiba. And whether it was the benching, right? Whether it was some kind of a wake-up, I don't know what was going on in the locker room, what Baldwin Tender's been talking to her about. She got 17 points. Makiba, good job. Because your 17 points got to win. Right, and it was a much-needed win after what really was a reasonable, good performance against Alabama. Again, they had the lead, they had opportunities. Moving on, they went to their. This was the first game of what was a Thanksgiving Classic tournament that Georgia State hosted. It was 4 games here at the Sports Arena. Only 2 of them were the Lady Panthers actually considered the home team, or one was the home, one was away. A whole bunch of crazy stuff in the Sports Arena. Anyhow, they played 2 in the 4 games. Right, first one was against Howard. That's what we're getting at here, and Makiba did good. And not only did Makiba do good, but I talked about last time we were on the show, you and I together, I talked about how I really wanted to see chemistry, right? Chemistry seemed to be lacking. That was our biggest criticism of the women in last show,
right?
Okay? Let's talk about how that changed. Makiba, 17 points. That's one thing. But how about this? Tatiana Jackson, 8 points. Ashley Cole, 7 points. Astasia Titer, 7 points. KK Williams, 8 points. Elijah Mitchell, 8 points. Okay. Look how well that spread. And look at the minutes here. 23 minutes, 21 minutes, 27, 18, 28, 20, 31.
No one even touched 30.
Right. That's spreading.
That's
right?
basketball.
That's basketball.
Oh, excuse me. I almost forgot. Haley Guerin returned this year. Congrats, Haley.
Right. Congrats, Haley. Absolutely. For sure.
She was in that Ron Hunter boot and that scooter during the offseason. So it's good to see her back in action. And hopefully she can bring us another scoring option down low on the post. So.
Hey, maybe it was Haley returning that caused this chemistry to open up for her because, against Howard, right, in the sports arena, they came up with the win. It was 65-58, reasonable scoring game, and the ball was shared, right? There was no selfishness.
Yeah.
There was no trust issue. You know, nobody was sloppy on the court. None of that stuff. They moved the ball well, and they put the buckets where they needed to put the buckets. I mean, they did great from the line here. They had 60% from the free throw line, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if it's not going to stand out in the stat sheet, but it's pretty good.
It's better than the men.
It's better than the men, and it's going to win ball games, right? It's going to put you in these positions to win close ones, right? What was it, a 7-point game here? I mean, it wasn't that huge.
Well, what does our good friend David Shealy say about free throws?
Free throws win ball games.
Is that according to his fourth grade
basketball coach?
Basketball coach
You know what?
in Indiana, because Indiana, they know
Indiana.
how to play basketball.
According to David, everybody in basketball is from Indiana.
And they can shoot free throws. So.
That's right. That's right. Hey,
that's what we did. It's like,
truths are truths no matter what level you're at.
Exactly.
Right? Free throws win ball games. And and maybe it was a little bit about the free throws because they only shot 25% from three.
Yep.
Ouch. Women have always had a hard time with three-pointers this season, and I don't think they necessarily have a three-pointer. And honestly, I don't see that changing all year. If I have to be honest, this deep into the season, if the women go for 40% from three, I bet that's the highest they're ever going to shoot from three all game or all season.
Well, actually, I spoke to Kiara Henry before the season began, and Kiara Henry said the team's strengths were three-pointers. So,
I don't know how she defines strength.
I know Makiba can shoot, and I know Morgan Jackson can shoot. I'm not sure about the rest of the newcomers or whatever.
Makiba went 2 for 8 on three in this game.
Yeah.
So, and
but she had 17 points. Good
to
job,
me, that's
Makiba.
not shooting. Right.
Good job.
Right. But maybe it's not right to say the strengths are three-pointers. Yeah. It's okay if that's true. If you can win ball games without making three-pointers or relying on three-pointers, that's fine. Yeah. Sometimes, the basics of basketball, the raw grit of basketball is playing hard in the paint and making your one-pointers. Right? Yeah. That's how you've been.
2-pointers.
Well, your 1 pointers, your
free
throws.
throws.
Your free throws, right?
Yeah,
free throws win ball games.
Free throws
win ball games, right?
Yeah.
So hard in the paint, making your free throws. That's been the nit-grit of basketball since basketball's been around. You know, the three-pointer didn't always exist in basketball. You know, that was a developed thing. So that's a basic fundamental push. And if three-pointers aren't your thing, that's not bad. That's not a horrible thing. There are teams that win without three-pointers, especially at the collegiate level. But what it takes is chemistry, right? Teams that have good success with three-pointers have those takeover guys, right? They have guys that late in the game, Steph Curry, right? We can look at the men, right? R.J. Hunter back then.
Makiba Ponder.
Makiba Ponder, not from three, not necessarily. I'm talking about the takeover guys from three. Yeah. When you're really down and you got to get some momentum and you got to get the crowd up, everybody gets psyched for a three, right? You can be down by 50 points, and if someone drains a three,
I don't know about
people. Look, I've seen it. I've seen it happen. If threes are exciting, right? They're deep shots. Everyone likes seeing it from the top of the arc, right? If the women don't have that person, that's fine. But it means their chemistry has to be flawless, right? Okay. They have to be able to work together because passing is going to be key. You're going to be passing in tight spaces, right? Because if people are understanding you're not shooting well from the three, they're going to leave you open at the arc, right? Because they're going to be like, I'm going to let them take it. And the defense is going to get smushed inside the paint, and they're going to try to prevent you from getting that close-range shot because they know that's where you have the most success. If the women can prove they have that success, that's what's going to happen. Alasia, exactly. So they just need to have that chemistry.
Kanisha.
All of them. And look, they're good. The point is they're good. You know, I said that I'm thinking they're going to go better than what they did last season.
Definitely.
I'm still willing to stand by that.
I wouldn't judge them right now.
No.
They're 2-5. Although I called out their 2-5 record about 3 times at the beginning of the show, because in January you have what's her name, Erica Campbell coming back, or
right.
Erica Campbell just coming, period, because
Right.
she transferred last season,
Right.
second semester. So they'll be all right.
Right.
Haley
I think,
Guerin is going to start getting her normal amount of minutes. She's starting to work back her way into the rotation. She had 3 minutes the first game against Howard, 6 minutes the next game, which we haven't got to.
Right.
But yeah, so
Right.
they'll be all right.
I think so too. And this was
Makiba's going to find her shot. That's the biggest thing. I think she's going to find her shot.
And I think the takeaway is, even as great as the Kennesaw game was, because it was good, first game of the season, I think this was the best game. I do. I think this was the
I'm
best
not sure
game.
about that because Howard isn't the best team. Honestly, at that game, I think that should have been a blowout.
At this point, right,
Right?
it almost doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me
Right.
who the opponent is. What I wanted to see, which is what we harped on before, was chemistry. Where was the chemistry? And the stat line here shows chemistry, right?
The stat line does.
The game showed chemistry.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I wanted to see from them. So maybe it's a selfish thing, it's a personal thing, it's just right? It's our opinions about the facts,
Yeah.
right? Whatever happens, happens. So, but I think this was their best game for that reason. Because if they can just trust each other, you
Right.
know, if
Right.
they can just have that flow,
Yeah.
right? And they
Right.
can find their identity. You know, stop taking ridiculous. Stop going 5 for 20 from the three. Come on. You know, you can't be going 5 for 20 and 25%.
Yeah.
If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Find your identity,
Kobe.
change your game plan, and do something about
Are
it.
you watching this, Kobe?
Are you? Now, Kobe's not going to be here till Friday.
Oh, okay.
So
Kobe went 4 for 17 in Philly last night. If you didn't
Right.
know,
And Kobe's going to be here playing Atlanta on Friday. We're going to that game.
Right. We'll
you
be
and I,
there.
You and I
We'll
are
be
going to be
there.
there.
We'll
Man,
be there.
Going to be big. All right, game balls for this game.
okay.
Don't tell me we're going to agree again. I think we might agree again. Are we going to do a 1, 2, 3 thing? Do you feel comfortable with that, or do you have somebody you're going to surprise me with? I'm probably giving away who my pick is here, but
It's obvious.
want to do
So,
1, 2, 3?
All right, 1, 2.
1, 2, 3.
Makiba Ponder.
Boom. All said and done. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Because
mean-
7. Look, she doubled
Wait.
anybody else's points.
Take that back. I take that back.
Wow, we have an audible.
I'm passing the game ball. They're passing me back the game ball. Alasia Mitchell. 8 points, 12 rebounds.
Is there a
She's
bias?
inconsistent.
Is there a bias here?
I mean, if I pick Makiba Ponder shot 5 for 16 again. Granted, she had 17 points in 20 minutes overall. But
I feel like we're going back and forth on this thing. Do we like Makiba's 17 points, or do we not like Makiba's? I like Makiba. Look, 17 points in 20 minutes.
Are
It's
17
efficient basketball.
points in 20 minutes.
That's nearly a point a minute. That's efficient basketball.
But-
I
but-
gotta go with efficiency.
This is the only thing she gave you, though.
But she's supposed to be the leader of the team from the beginning, and she's
She
leading
is.
the team. There she is.
Off the bench.
Off the
because
bench.
She was benched.
Right. Hopefully, it's going to be a turnaround. So I'm sticking with Makiba.
When you rebound the ball 12 times in a game, and you're just putting up double-double after double-double, even though she fell short of a double-double this game, I like balance.
All right. All
And
right.
Alasia Mitchell had the balance.
Alasia Mitchell is. There's the bias. All right, we're gonna Rashad. We're start doing an Alasia Mitchell counter for Rashad. Every show, Rashad's giving a game ball for the women. So we're gonna see just how many he gives with Alasia Mitchell over the year. Because right now
Let's see.
he's 2 for 2.
Maybe,
we have a game left.
Makiba. Well, I said KK Williams for the first game, so KK Williams.
You said
and
KK
then-
for the first game?
No, not the first game today.
Oh, today.
The
Okay.
first game, the other
first time
show.
around.
Yeah,
That's
the
true.
other
You did
show.
say KK.
And
You did
then
say KK.
The last 2 times has been Alasia Mitchell.
Right. Okay. But let's see. You're 75% for Alasia today. So let's move
Yes.
to the final game, which is over. Let me see if I can
66.
sort through. Here we go. Boom. We've got Charlotte. Rashad.
Yeah.
This game was barely 24 hours after the Howard game.
Yeah.
Barely 24 hours, right? Everything seemed like it was coming up Millhouse, momentum, chemistry, and that was identified here, but they lost.
I mean, come on now, like it comes down to a simple fact. I mean, Howard's 0-6, they're winless. Charlotte is 4-2. Charlotte's a better team. Charlotte forced them to see the real women's team of where they're at right now. Unfortunately, I believe.
I mean, it wasn't, 12-point spread. It was 83-71 to
Right.
Charlotte. 12 points is no small victory.
Right.
That's a reasonable spread. But you had a 10-point score, a 14-point score, a 15-point score, a 12-point score. Right? Makiba Ponder came back with 12 points. Makiba, hats off again. Good job. You're showing leadership, right? Showing some leadership, and again, off the bench. Right. Showing leadership. And maybe that's where she belongs. Off the bench, she's a good closer. But then we've got Morgan Jackson that led, who got my game ball last time.
Right, yeah.
I like Morgan Jackson. I like her a lot. She led the team Ashley Cole led the team in scoring this time around. Excuse me, I'm getting my lines crossed. But Morgan Jackson contributed with a solid 5 points, and everything counts, right? This game was tough for me because it was just coming off a pretty good win against Howard. I mean, I get the record, but you just wanted to see some level of consistency. Do you think this was consistent?
Yes. I mean, it's just true to where the team is right now. Howard isn't a good team, and we beat the team that we were better than, and we lost to the team that we weren't better than. And still, the reason why I say it's consistent is because still not one player on our team exceeded 30 minutes. So
there's still a sharing. Maybe they're getting into the sharing thing.
They're still getting into the
Is Baldwin Center figuring out the strengths and weaknesses of the players here? Or is that what you think comes from the more even spread of the minutes?
I honestly think she's still figuring it out because now she's got to work in another player with Haley in there.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
She's still figuring it out.
That's true. And Haley got 6 minutes, on her second game back. She had 3 minutes on the game before. We didn't mention that.
Yeah.
But, it's coming up. If she can kind of continues on this trend, we'll see 9 minutes the next game, 12 minutes the next game. So hopefully they'll start easing her in a little bit at a time. I was happy with Madison Newby in this game. I mean, she came out with 14 points, so it's easy to be happy with her. But, we don't talk about her much.
Yeah.
I think that's the shocker. It's kind of like, oh, where did Madison come from all of a sudden?
They're a
14
deep team.
points.
They got a lot of good players on the team.
Right, they do. And again, gosh, I'm almost getting sick of me saying it, but chemistry. Chemistry. They got a lot of good players. They got to figure out who's going where, who's going to do what when. I still don't think they have a big timer. I mean, they still did not do well, from the 3 point. They didn't. 5 for 20 in this game too. Didn't look good. But they did shoot an amazing 87.5% from the free throw line.
David
Shealy, coming back at you, bud. That's awesome. 87.5%. Where they lost the game was in the field, in the paint, and behind the arc, because Charlotte went 45 from the paint, 42 from the arc, opposed to our 37 from the paint, 25 from the arc. So, free throws win ball games. That's good, but you also can't neglect your other responsibilities as a basketball player and score elsewhere. And, I feel like if they took half of those 3-point shots, 20 3-point shots, right? If they took 10 of them and put them in the paint, where their strength seems to be, at least it's stronger than their 3-point game, they could have won this game. I think they could have.
And who would have they given those shots to down in the paint, Joey? I'm just wondering.
Well,
who do you think it would be?
Well, I think it's time for them to trust Makiba again.
Makiba in the paint?
Yeah, I think it's time to trust Makiba in the paint, just because that's just been her strength of the season, right?
Okay.
That's just been the strength of the team of the season. She's had 2 back-to-back solid performances, 17 points and 12 points, right? Does she have to lead the team in scoring every game to be a leader? Absolutely not. But there has to be a model of consistency.
Right.
And we know she's consistent from last season. We're waiting for it to happen this season.
Right.
We're 2 games in a row now. And maybe you could say, oh, well, she was on a hot streak because the games were so close. Maybe. Maybe that's the case. But whatever it takes for the team to look at her again and go, please lead us to a better record. Because that was her role going into the season. Right? Hand out to keep it. And look, I mean, so many of these women could have done it. I almost would have liked to see them test Madison Newby more. Because she was only 1 point down from tying, as far as leading the team in scoring, right, with 15. And that's impressive, And maybe if they continue to feed her the ball and allow her to gain some more momentum, maybe she'll become somebody more consistent as well in the future. I mean, not to say 14 points doesn't give you any confidence, but it helps when the team sort of recognizes that on the fly, and you see some more chances that don't come from 3, because the women just can't shoot threes. That's what we're getting at here. They just can't do it.
According to Kiera Henry, that's their strength.
Well, mean, look, when these players tell you things, they're going to tell you what, they want to tell you for morale reasons,
Right.
I mean, there are,
Josh Smith probably thinks his strength is our threes.
there are seldom sports teams and players that are honest about their strengths and weaknesses to the T. I always try to kind of beat around it a little bit and try to make you think, we're pretty well rounded. We're going to figure it out. Look, you're either good at something or you're not. They're not good at shooting threes. Period. They're just not. If you take half of the 3-pointers they shot all season and put them in the paint, I think they'd be 3-4, 4-3 even, something like that. I would just maybe it is debatable, but that's why we have the show. I would like to see them shoot more in the paint.
And who would get those points in the paint? Oh, you said.
Well, I said Makiba. I said Makiba.
I think Alasia Mitchell. Alasia Mitchell will average a lot if those points went down because she's the go-to down on the block.
Yeah, she is. I mean, she got another 10 points. I mean, you're right. She's playing rather consistently.
But congratulations to Madison Newby, like you said.
Right.
Because we saw her at that Morehead State game, and it was rough.
Yes, right.
It was really rough. At the end of the game, we tried to make a comeback, and Madison Newby was just bricking. Brick squad. Just brick after brick after.
Right.
It was tough to watch.
Right.
So I'm glad she's, she got her shine in that one game, and hopefully she can, become a contributor to the team as she was last game.
You and me both. And look, these women are going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out one game at a time. I'm proud of them so far. At least they're playing with some more consistency. Look, if you're watching this, Sharon Baldwin, take it inside the arc a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Shoot some twos. Let's call a spade a spade. Threes are not the women's strength. They're just not. And that's okay. You're allowed to do that. So we're gonna figure it out as the season progresses. But in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. It's been fun. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Primetime Sportz.
Game balls.
Talk. Oh, game balls. Man, I'm always forgetting game balls. See, we're giving so many game balls out today. I'm losing my mind. Thank you, Rashad.
You're welcome.
See, look, this is why I can't do the show alone. I'd be screwing up. All right, game ball this time around too. I'm gonna go first this time.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Madison Newby. Okay. I am. I think because she was sort of the sleeper going in. I like when players, because she even started. She started, and that was kind of a big responsibility. I'm glad she's taken on a big responsibility, and I'm glad this game, even though they lost, I'm glad this game she showed some initiative, right? And she took advantage of the time that she had, and she made a really sizable contribution to the team.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'm going to have to go with LA. Just kidding. I'm going with Ashley Cole. She came off the bench with 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Good job, Ashley.
That's fair. So now that we've gotten through 6 game balls, 3 games, man, I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat something after this. I'm going to go eat. Well, then Caleb and I get to jump on. That's another thing.
Our 7th episode. This is
sixth episode.
This is the
7th episode coming later. We're all over the place. But look, we can't wait to see you again for the 2nd time. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Primetime Sportz Talk, and we will see you next time.